Hello Internet, so I'm sure some of you are aware about the confusion regarding the new ownership of Zippcast, as well as possibly how Noahproductions rage quit the Internet because of some personal trauma. Well, as one of the few people who knows the full story about the issue of Noah quitting, I suppose I should explain a bit. Just please do not blame me, as this was entirely his own decision, and some people apparently did try to console him on the matter. I just happened to kind of give him a nudge in the wrong direction, I suppose. And I do take responsibility for that, make no mistake. It's just that I did need to call him out on the fact that he was kind of spreading misinformation. And that's what I did. I tweeted him on Twitter. I went on the VBF Discord, the Bit Future Discord. I asked AM about him because Spider-Fan had mentioned that that is where the information on Zippcast's new ownership he got came from. And as you may already know, the responses on Crafting Lord's video, Lois claimed he didn't know about that. Which is strange because usually Lois is the one who is claiming that the non-existent people exist. So clearly there's a bit fishy going on here, and we may never know the entire truth behind that, but at the very least we understand that the whole thing about the blacklist and the new staff on Zippcast was complete bullshit, and that Lois is in fact in charge of Zippcast still. And really, you should not be using Zippcast, and that's my personal opinion, but that doesn't matter because right now I'm taking a neutral stance on the issue because I believe Lois this time around, and I don't really have any legitimate reason to doubt him at the moment other than the fact that he's a pathological liar. And, you know, he has these flunkies who may or may not also exist. I'm guessing they probably do exist. But they are mindlessly defending Lois, and that really irks me, but that's neither here nor there. What is important right now is that I talked to Noahproductions, the one spreading the misinformation about Zippcast. I sent him the following tweet. Let me bring that up right now. Have you seen the comments in Crafting Lord's video about Zippcast's new ownership? You have some explaining to do. So, a couple days passed, and I decided to try DMing him because he didn't respond. However, I was greeted with the following. As you can see, he deleted his Twitter. So I was still on the Vidbit Future Discord because I wanted to ask AM to contact him for me in case my attempts at contacting him failed. And, well, AM said that apparently he went crazy after learning that he was deceived, although this isn't exactly the entire truth. In fact, this isn't even really the exact reason why he did this. Because as I went on VidiNation to share the news about him and to confirm for certain to everyone that the blacklist and the new staff were a load of baloney, I learned I was a bit late to the party, and Spider-Fan had posted some screenshots of the VBF that were posted on the VBF Discord, who I'm assuming are in a conversation between Noah's and Noahproductions, and they are the following. So, over a year ago, he started his YouTube channel to become an animator. He lied to people, deceived them too. He says he was a horrible person, but they kept sticking with me and supporting me. Yeah, that's definitely YouTube, and that's definitely YouTube fans in a nutshell. Eventually, around December, shit started hitting me back. Or him back. Karma, to be exact. People started to change around, and he's not blaming them because it's his fault, he says. Eventually, he just kind of snapped. He stopped talking to his friends in late February. He wanted to mysteriously disappear, but people kept supporting him, but he wasn't supporting himself. He offered to help out with a website called Zippcast to see what was going on behind the scenes. He was greeted by somebody by the name of Alex, who, if you don't know about the current actual ownership, that's exactly one letter off from the actual other person, one of the actual other people who's working on Zippcast with Lois, Alec. So yeah, that name is kind of suspicious to begin with. Someone pointed out it was a really generic sounding name. But when you think about it, it's literally one letter off of Alec, who was one of the people who had filed a DMCA claim on VideoNation, which used to be Video Social beforehand. But anyway, so Alex claimed to be the co-owner, and Noah eventually found out he lied to him, that he was not a real person, and at this point he hadn't had enough. He kind of snapped, he stopped talking completely, but then eventually decided that he needed to talk. He's not depressed or anything like that, so he claims. He's not doing this for the attention, and I believe him on that part at the very least. Though he claims he is leaving the internet for good, and I have plenty of reason to doubt this. He even says himself maybe he'll start a new account, but for now he is going to stop making and posting videos. And he says goodbye, thanks for sticking around. And the person he's having this direct message conversation on Twitter said, well, I'm sorry about this, you seemed like a great person, but I won't stop you, you do you, buddy, goodbye. But apparently that wasn't the end of it, as Spider-Man posted 2 more screenshots. Well, over the past year, he says that he made lots of friends in the art community, alternative community, etc. He has wronged those friends and he feels bad. He tries apologizing to them, but it never feels right, even if they beg to differ. Yeah, I know how that is. I really don't think that apologizing is really good enough if you don't really mean it, per se, because to me an apology is a promise that you're not going to do the same thing again. And I feel like sometimes I just can't promise that. And that's one of the reasons why I sometimes don't apologize. Although, on other occasions, it's because I don't really feel vindicated enough in doing so. Because I don't feel like I was too much in the wrong or something like that. Like, it just doesn't seem right for me to apologize at those moments. And especially in recent times with the VidMe scenario, I've had multiple instances of that where really the only time I really felt like I needed to apologize was again with Go-Go Usagi. So he figures, why hurt them more? They don't deserve it. So he decided that he won't be able to hurt them if he doesn't talk to them. So he's leaving. May come back, but he's leaving, and he compares himself to Lois. Now, Noah, if you're watching this, don't compare yourself to that scumbag, please. Please do not compare yourself to him, because he has no regrets in what he does. And you seem like a really nice guy who understands what you did was wrong. So, if you are watching this, just understand, if you're really not depressed, if you really don't have depression issues, please do not compare yourself to Lois. Because I don't think anyone's really going to believe you that you don't have depression issues if you're going to compare yourself to one of the worst scumbags that I have ever had the displeasure of interacting with. I mean, he's far from the bottom of the barrel that I've interacted with, make no mistake, because he does try to pretend to have an air of professionalism about him, and that definitely puts him above some others I've dealt with, but yeah, don't compare yourself to him. Just don't. And then this one just says, kind of out of context for some reason, a lot of stuff, he won't go into details, but he's lied, scammed, betrayed at them multiple times. So yeah, that's basically the end of the story. At least for the time being, as Noah might come back, but that's really kind of a different subject and not really any of my business because I don't know him. And if he does come back, that's fine. He said himself that he might come back, but I don't really believe him when he says he's not going to, because really, when people say that, they never mean it. It's a thing that keeps happening, I've noticed on the internet. But yeah, I don't think that he should compare himself to Lois. I mean, for one thing, Lois never really claimed that he would never come back. That's not something he does. He says he's going to shut down Zippcast a bunch of times, sure, but he doesn't say that he's never going to come back. In fact, I think he's made it clear that he has every intention of bringing Zippcast around if he had the possibility to do so in the future. The last time he shut it down, and lo and behold, he brought it back. But he didn't make excuses as to why he didn't keep it up, and though I think those excuses are probably at least 90% bullshit. But regardless, yeah, that's pretty much it. So until next time, stay determined.